Present आप पहले से.
Yeah. According to all the and parts.
Go ahead.
Shwastho from Department of Mathematics, Fatehgarh Sahib, Punjab. Most well on today of third day of modeling and art in management ATAL. Actually, today's session of structural equation modeling in particle list, and our Dr. Nisa. Dr. Syeedun Nisa is currently Jamia Hamdard, adopted an MBA. She is also qualified, and Syeedun Nisa is editor and reviewer in a number of well-reputed journals. She has published several research papers, chapters, and books. Her area of research is international business and sustainable business models. And the most important is Dr. Nisa is having expert hand in research methodology and has been resource person in several research methodology workshops and FDPs. Lastly, I would like to wish thanks a million to organizers of this FDP for providing this opportunity to introduce guest speaker. And I, Dr. Srivastava, hand over the reins to speaker Dr. Nisha. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akash Srivastava. I am associated with Jamia Hamdard since 2005, and as Dr. Akash has already given my introduction, so my area is international business and sustainable development. Today, I'll be taking a lecture on PLSM, partial least squares structural equation modeling. And since for last, I think 2 days, this is the third day of the workshop, last 2 days, this topic, the structural equation modeling and the related topics have been discussed with you. So I think most of the conceptual things are already discussed, and they are like all the experts have explained them very well. So I don't think the things I'll be repeating them again, like your reliability, validity, convergent or discriminant validity, or reflective or formative models. So I've seen that these all things have been explained and discussed by the experts before also. So I'll start with this PLSM, hands-on on PLSM with smart PLS. So I think all of you.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Ma'am, your voice is not properly audible. So we are fixing things.
Okay.
Let's wait for some time. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm waiting.
Actually, that would be from your side. Actually, we are not facing that, Shikhama, Dr. Shikhama. We are not facing echoes.
Okay. My voice is audible to everybody.
Yes,
ma'am. You are perfectly audible.
Okay. Okay. So I'm continuing. Okay. So the things I think the conceptual things have been already discussed by the previous speakers, Like I was telling you, all these things will be used here, and I'll explain them simultaneously when I'll be using the model. So basically, I'll start directly with the Smart PLS, and I think all of you have downloaded the Smart PLS. All of you have Smart PLS with you, and the data file that I've shared with you. So all of you should have that data file and the Smart PLS thing. So I'm starting this. I'm sharing my screen with you, and if there is any problem, you can always interrupt me. You can always stop me in between, and then like you can ask questions. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen, and I want all of you to please open your Smart PLS. Is this visible to you all?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay, so this screen, you should open this screen. So before coming to the Smart PLS, the data file that I've shared with data file. No. Data file. So you should file this is the all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here we'll start with this. Please first click. Okay. Some name.
Ma'am, sometimes not. We are
My
facing
voice is
some
not.
voice on your end. Yes, sometimes.
Just changing my.
Actually, ma'am, it is not relevant. I think you're just a little bit far away from your phone, so it is just not very.
Okay. Okay. Am I audible?
You are, you are.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, you're audible now. You can continue.
Okay. Okay. So please open this page, and again I'm doing it. Click on new project. Give it some name. For example, I am giving it a name PLS SEM. Okay. So first thing is you need to click on new project, and you need to give it a name. This is PLS SEM, and press OK. Okay. So this on left hand side, this PLS SEM is created. Okay. So the next thing that you have to do is double click to import data. Okay, I am repeating. First thing I did was I clicked on new project, I gave it a name, then I clicked OK. Then this screen here, you have this PLSM is created. Now double click to import data. Okay, so wherever you have saved that file, workshop 1 that I have given to you, you need to click it, click on it, and then again, okay. Is this clear till this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now this above this workshop PLSM here, the model which is visible here, you need to click this model. Okay, so all the data which is there in that Excel worksheet, it is here. Okay, under indicator. So before I'll come to this structure equation. First, I'll discuss this data, what this data is all about. This is a questionnaire. So first I'll show you the items in my questionnaire. Okay, so this was the questionnaire, and since these informations are not relevant because these are the basic information about marital status, gender, education, qualification, everything. So we are more interested in this Likert scale. Here the questionnaire was to judge the entrepreneurial spirit among women, and basically the rural women, this questionnaire was administered on rural women in Lucknow, and these women were like they were asked to join an NGO, and that NGO was actually giving them training to involve, so that they can involve themselves in these women's in entrepreneurial activities, or to get loans from the banks or MFIs. So after joining these NGO, what are the changes that were experienced by the women? The question was on that, whether their self-confidence level has increased, whether decision-making ability has increased or not, whether social awareness and participation has increased, whether skill is developed in these women or not, and training and satisfaction, as overall training and satisfaction has increased or not. So here you can see all the questions are on 5-point scale, Likert scale. So confidence, decision making, social awareness, skill development, and training and satisfaction. Okay, so these are the things which were measured with the help of this questionnaire. So the data is given, data is here. We have imported the data, and this data is here. So um, I think you all are aware of the difference between reflective and um, formative constructs. So this PLS cell, smart PLS, on its default mode is on reflective. uh, uh, जो model होता है, that is there. Okay, so if you think you have some constructs which are formative, then you need to change it. Okay, so first we'll do a basic thing. I'll start with the reflective one, and then I'll include formative also here, because I think some of my items are not reflective. So just give you a brief idea about reflective and formative, although it is being discussed with you earlier also, but I'm just giving you a brief idea of these two things. Reflective items, basically reflective is the one where your items, the items which are measuring your reflective construct, they are highly correlated with each other. So for example, if I say stress, okay, so and items to measure stress is maybe sleeplessness, or increased heart rate, or restlessness, okay, uneasiness. So all these things are highly correlated with each other, and they are interchangeable also. And if we miss out one thing, that doesn't mean ki we are missing something great, because maybe high heart rate will be measured by uneasiness also. Okay, so in reflective constructs, the items are highly correlated, and if you drop one or two items, then also your things are not like affected. But in formative constructs, the items are not highly correlated. Okay, so here because items are in formative constructs not highly correlated, like if I say if divorce, or because there, okay, so these three items, stress, job loss, divorce, accident, they are not highly correlated, all may be correlated, because if there is a job loss, there it has nothing to do with your divorce. So if you drop one of the item, then that means you are missing out significant thing. So you cannot drop your item in case of formative constructs. So here in this questionnaire, I'll use one formative construct, which is social awareness, because I believe the things that I am measuring here in social awareness, they are not correlated, because social participation with social awareness, if you are aware about AIDS or schemes or these things, or social evils, violence. Okay, so this construct, I believe, is more of formative in nature, while others are more of reflective, because decision making, if overall decision making key, if we talk about, then that means the decision making should be with respect to household expenditure, saving, also with respect to using of loan, with respect to child education, with respect to family problems and all. So let's see how the things will work here. So again, go to this. All of us have imported this, so I don't think there is any issue here. So now I am making a model. So what I'll do, I'll take two things first. First is confidence. Okay, so click this first confidence, press a shift tab and select these three items. Okay, and then drag and drop them here. Okay, is this clear? So what I did, I have selected confidence, all the items which are measuring confidence. I have selected these items and I have dropped them here in this area. Okay, second thing, because social is something that I'll use for my this formative one. So here I'll then choose skill, business skill, leadership skill, risk taking skill, okay, financial skills, selling skills. Okay, these 5 things are there. So again, I have selected these 5 skills, I have dragged them and dropped them here. Okay, so these are the 2 of my independent variables, and I want to see with the increase in, with the confidence and with the skill, whether there is increase in overall satisfaction or not. So what I'll do, I'll now again select satisfaction. I will select all the items which are under satisfaction and I'll drag and drop them here. Okay. So what we'll do here, we can align them also. Here you can see these alignment options are there. You can align there here, right or below also, or left or upper side also. But here this will look more proper. Now what I'll do, I'll name these latent variables. So this is satisfaction. Rename it PISFAC, satisfaction. Okay. So this is satisfaction, and these items are measuring satisfaction. Then this latent variable is confidence. And this is skill. Is this fine? All of us has done this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if I'm moving fast, then you can always interrupt me. You can always say ki repeat the step or to go slow. Are we all together? Should I proceed if you have done this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Now next thing that I'll do is I will connect it. Here you can see a connect button. You connect confidence with satisfaction, and then skill with satisfaction. Okay. Once everything is in blue, then only you can run a model. If your this latent variables constructs, if they are not in blue color, you cannot run the model. Okay. So now we have connected. These are my confidence and skill. These are my independent variables, and I want to check whether with confidence and skill there is increase in overall satisfaction or not. Okay. So once this is all is in blue, then only I can run a model. So here, this thing like here, this model that you have in front of you, this one is called as outer model, where your this independent variable with item, the relationship of independent variable with items. This is called outer model, and independent to dependent, the middle one is called as inner model. Okay. So first thing that I'll do is I'll check a measurement model. I'll see whether my reliability, my validity, all are okay or not, all are fine or not. Okay. Once I know ki yes, reliability, validity, everything is within range, within limit, then only I'll move to structural model. Okay. So what this we have now with us, confidence, skill are my dependent variables, independent variables, and my satisfaction is dependent variable. Now I'll run a model. So click here, calculate. First thing, because I'm here interested in measurement model and not structural model, so I'll go to PLS algorithm. Okay. I will choose factor here, not path, because I'm not interested in path right now. And I'll leave other settings as it is, which are default settings. I'll keep them as it is, and I'll press start calculation. Okay. All of you have got this window?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So here I am more interested in construct reliability and validity, and second thing is discriminant validity. Okay. So first thing that I'll check will be construct reliability and validity. So what is construct reliability and validity? First is reliability. Reliability can be measured with Cronbach alpha, but here we will measure it with we see composite reliability. Okay. Although we should see this Cronbach alpha also, but Cronbach alpha, but for this SEM, PLS SEM, composite reliability should be taken into consideration, because number of time Cronbach alpha may underestimate your reliability, because Cronbach alpha's values, these values, they are based on the fact that each and every items, like here, all the items, like here we have different values for each items now, but Cronbach alpha estimates them as same. Okay, so if your values are very different, then your Cronbach alpha and composite reliability will differ largely. So so that is the reason we look for composite reliability, and Cronbach alpha sometimes underestimates your reliability value. So composite reliability here, let me tell you what is the appropriate value. So here for a rule of thumb for evaluating reflective models may internal consistency reliability, if you are checking, your composite reliability should be higher than 0.70. Okay, and consider Cronbach alpha as the lower bound and composite reliability as the upper bound of internal consistency reliability. So everything is okay here. Second thing is your so reliability is measured. Reliability is basically consistency. Okay, if you use this scale, scale, number of times you will get same result. Like if you talk about example of reliability can be, you can relate it with the like weighing scale. So if you measure your weight and you get consistent weight, so that means ki your weighing scale is good. So that is what we is the meaning of reliability. So if we are saying ki my questionnaire is this scale is reliable, my questionnaire is this reliability, I'm achieving the reliability, then that means ki it can give same results if we keep on repeating the test. So that is basically reliability. Second is your validity. Validity may we have two types of validity. One is called as convergent validity, and the another one is discriminant validity. So convergent validity is achieved if we have this values within range, which is average variance extracted. Okay, so average variance extracted, if it is within range, then we will say we have achieved convergent validity. And what is convergent validity? If we go back to our model, this model, you can see these are the items. Confidence, to measure confidence, we have 3 items. So whether these items are actually measuring the confidence, they are converging to explain confidence. So convergent validity is achieved for confidence, for skill also, which means these items are actually are able to measure skill, and for satisfaction also. So whether they are converging to explain this latent variable, these all items which are under skills, whether they are converging together to explain this, and these all satisfaction items which are under satisfaction, whether they are able to they are converging and they are able to explain this. So this is our convergent validity. And for convergent validity, what is the value? So here the indicators outer loading should be higher than 0.70. Indicators with outer loading between 0.40 and 0.70 should be considered for removal only if the deletion leads to an increase in composite reliability and AVE above the suggested threshold value. Okay, so here we can see some of the outer loadings are between 0.40 and 0.70 also. Okay, so here some of the loadings, these are the loadings. So there are this loading, for example, 0.547, it is below 0.7. And here also you can see this one and this 0.670. This is also below 0.70. If some of the loadings are below 0.70 and they are between 0.40 and 0.70, then we should seek if we will drop these items, then whether it will increase my average variance extracted or not. But here, why I am not dropping these values, because if we go here, here, we'll see that I've already achieved the AVE. Okay, I've already achieved it. So if this value is below 0.5, then I should see whether under skill like this value 0.540, if I'll drop this value, then my AVE is more than 0.5 or not. Okay, but why I'm not doing this? Because I've already achieved the threshold value. Okay, so these are the outer loadings outer loadings which are there in P, and it is given here also. Outer loadings, which is this only: confidence, skill, and satisfaction. So this outer loading is given here also. If you click here, outer loadings, you will find these loadings, and here you can see the loadings which are below 0.7, they are highlighted in red. So you should consider whether should keep them or to drop them. But for this kind of model, I'll say we should keep them, because here we are not facing convergent validity problem. But if you are facing convergent validity problem, then in that case, you can drop. Okay, like this value, you can select it. You can select it from here, right click, and if you click here, you will drop this value. And then again, you should run the model to see if my convergent validity is achieved or not. Is this okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have explained construct reliability and validity. Few items have lower outer loading, but still we are keeping them because we are not facing as such issues with convergent reliability. Okay, so average variance extracted is used to measure convergent reliability, and Cronbach alpha and composite reliability are for internal consistency, and this value rho should be in between Cronbach alpha and composite reliability. If it is not in between, then it will be highlighted in red, but it is all green, which means all okay, and we can move further. So as far as this reliability, construct reliability and convergent validity is concerned, it is okay. Now next thing that we will check here is your discriminant validity. Okay, so click on discriminant validity, which is just below your construct reliability and validity. Okay, so if you click discriminant validity, you will find first thing is Forner and Lacker criterion. Okay, Forner and Lacker criterion. So what is this? What are these values? So for example, if I copy them and I paste them in Excel, okay, this is Forner and Lacker criterion, and these are the values. How to interpret these values? So this value 0.867, 0.78 and 0.749. What are these values? These values are square root of average variance extracted. Okay, we'll go back to our model, and this value 0.752. Okay, so if you'll like this 0.752 AVE, square root of AVE is this value. Okay, so this Forner and Lacker criteria says ki square root of this value, square root of AVE, which is this value, it should be more than the correlation with the other factors. So this AVE, confidence का जो AVE का square root है, okay, this 0.75, if you square root this 0.752, will square root this 0.86, sorry. Okay, so you'll get the AVE. So this square root of AVE, which is this is for confidence, this is the square root of AVE for satisfaction, and this is the square root for AVE for skill. This should be more than the correlation value. So this 0.867 is the correlation between satisfaction and confidence. 0.867 is the correlation between confidence and skill, and 0.313 is the correlation between, sorry, it's not 0.867, exact value, sorry. This was the value 0.442 and 0.695. Okay, so this value, this is the correlation value of satisfaction and confidence, 0.442. This is the correlation value of skill and confidence, 0.695, and this is the correlation value of satisfaction and skill, which is 0.313. So Farner and Larker criteria says कि if your square root of AV, which is average variance extracted, it is more than correlation with any other, like a correlation of one construct with any other construct. If it is more than that, then you should consider it to be valid. Okay, so here we can see all these three values, the square root of average variance extracted, all these three values which are highlighted here, they are more than the correlation of one with the other, satisfaction with confidence, skill with confidence, and skill with satisfaction. So we can say that discriminant validity is achieved. Okay, so this is the first thing, Farner and Larker criterion. Second thing is your cross loadings. This is also used to measure your discriminant validity. Okay, so what does this say? Again, if I'll copy it and paste it in Excel, this is the second thing I'm talking about, validity only, and right now we are talking about discriminant validity. And what does discriminant validity says? It says that your construct should be different from other constructs. For example, if I am measuring something under skill, if I am measuring, it should be different from confidence, and confidence should be different from satisfaction. Okay, okay, skill वाले दो अलग से आ गए नीचे, तो skill I'll keep all together. Okay, so this is the loading. Okay, cross loadings. Cross loading means कि this particular item which is meant for confidence, it is also loaded on satisfaction, it is also loaded on skill, and I have seen ki what is the value here. Okay, so here we can see confidence, these are the three values. Confidence, we can highlight it here. Okay, for satisfaction, these are the values, and for skill, these are the values. Okay, so what does cross loading says? Cross loading says कि this should be, this loading, these loading should load better in their parent construct than any other construct. Okay, so here we can see कि we have used confidence in communication for confidence. So this, if I am loading it on satisfaction, or if I am loading it on skill, it should not load better there, but it should load better in its parent construct. So here we can see the values which are given for confidence in its parent's construct. It is like all the items values in its parent's construct, it is more than any other construct. Okay, similarly, if we see the value for satisfaction, so here we can see all the values which are here, they are loading better in their parent construct than any other construct, whether it's a confidence or it's a skill. So it is not loading better in this construct, but it is loading very well in its parents construct. Similarly, for skill also, we can see the loadings which are here, they are loading better in their parent construct than any other construct. So this says that if the loadings are loading better in their parent construct, then this means that discriminant validity is achieved because they are not loading anywhere else. And plus at the same time, this also says you should see, for example, here I can see although this value is 0.838, but this on skill, this confidence in communication, under skill also it is loading because 0.609 is not a small loading, it's not a very bad loading, so it is there. But then what we should see basically here, the difference between these two should be at least 1. If it is less than 1, then we should drop this, or we should again rephrase or look into this particular thing. Okay. So here, because the difference with this, the satisfaction or with the skill is more than 1, so we can say yes, it is loading very well here. Here also 0.911, so difference is very much more than 1 with either satisfaction or the skill. So we'll take this. For this also, we can see the difference is much more than 1. Okay. Similarly, with others also, we can see there is no here in satisfaction. Nothing is where we can say it is loading better in other constructs. Here also, we can see all the loadings are, the difference is more always more than 1. Is this clear? How we interpret this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have done Forner and Lacker criterion for discriminant validity. Second is we have done this cross-loading for discriminant validity. Third thing is your hetero-trait mono-trait ratio. Okay. Hetero-trait mono-trait ratio. This is a new thing which is introduced here, and it says that this ratio is the correlation, basically correlation matrix we create, and then we take out the ratio, correlation ratio, hetero-trait and mono-trait ratios we compute, and it says that this ratio should be less than 0.85. If it is less than 0.85, then we say discriminant validity is achieved. Okay, and many of the studies say this is the this HTMT, hetero-trait mono-trait ratio, is better than Forner and Lacker criteria and cross-loading for checking discriminant validity in your PLS. And why? Because hetero-trait mono-trait ratio take care of your type 1 and type 2 error, which is also sensitivity or specificity. So if you all are aware of type 1 and type 2 error, what is type 1 and type 2 error, then you can understand one of the research paper, recent research paper that I was studying, it says cross-loading, in cross-loading this type 1 and type 2 error, or you can say that when we are writing a research paper, we use the term sensitivity and specificity. So sensitivity and specificity is not at all achieved when we use cross-loading. Okay, when we use cross-loading, although here it is indicating that where your item is loading better, okay, and it should load better in parent construct, so it is well and good, but it is not taking care of your type 1 or type 2 error or sensitivity and specificity. And as far as this Forner and Lacker criterion concerned, it just takes care of 20.82% of your sensitivity and specificity. Yeah, type 1 or type 2 error. Type 1 or type 2 error should not be there in your research. But this HTMT, heterotrait monotrait ratio, this one, the last one, it takes care of both 99% to sensitivity and 97% to specificity, which is specificity is type 1 error and sensitivity is type 2 error. Same true positive and true negatives bhi kehte hain. So this HTMT take care of that. So I think type 1 error and type 2 error, is there a need to explain type 1 and type 2 error? You all are aware of it?
Ma'am, we are aware of it, but if you can just explain in brief once again.
Okay. I'll just show you a PPT so that you can understand type this one, type 1 and type 2 error. So type 1, when you design a hypothesis, okay, and your hypothesis, null hypothesis is true, and the test, when you conducted a test and your test also says that your null hypothesis is true, then you take a correct decision. Okay, so no problem with it, because when your test results are saying I think your alpha, then we value is true. So what you are doing, an error, type of error that you can commit, your null hypothesis was, but true. Okay, so error. So that is a type 2 error. So is a sensitivity of a test, is a specificity. If you are doing this mistake or a type 2 error, then it's a big. So this thing, this HTMT, heterotrait monotrait ratio, it takes care of this specificity as well as sensitivity. Okay, so if your hypothesis was true and your test result is making it false, okay, type 2 error. If your hypothesis was false but your test result is saying that it is true, it is not going in a rejection region. Okay, तो हम एक normal distribution बनाते हैं, alpha की value रखते हैं, and then we say कि okay, it is going in rejection region, null hypothesis, so we reject the hypothesis. But if it is not true, then in that case you are committing a mistake. So this HTMT take care of specificity, which is type 1 error, and sensitivity, which is type 2 error. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now I've seen good. So seen key validator on for things, foreign Oracle credit EVE should be more. So it achieve this loading way. We have seen that all the loading better in the, and yes, it is loading better in the parent construct, plus the other concern one. Sorry, second, third thing is, and this is also 5. We can say that okay, to our model. So this was a model. So we have seen that yes, measurement there is no problem. Okay, I'm to now the net I'll do will be okay. I have this click this wrapping. Okay, and interested in path plus we are in start. All of you have got this result. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
If there's any problem, you can always okay.
Ma'am, could you please repeat the step?
Back. Okay. Deleting this. Tapping. Okay. Setup में basic bootstrap पे होगा. Keep it complete bootstrapping. Here two-tailed होना चाहिए 0.05 value, which is default setting. It is all fine. Partial least square में we are interested in path now. Okay. So you need to click path. Is this fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then next is start calculation. So you got this file?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, what we are seeing here, there are two parts. First is your confidence to satisfaction and second is your skill to satisfaction. Here you can also see confidence to satisfaction and skill to satisfaction. Okay. So these are two, and if we look, which are given strapping. So here, so we are more in and p values, Pickens values. Are there. First is your con, second is your skill to satisfaction. T value Pickens level get the value should be more than 1.9 as the cutoff. Value should be more than 1.9 path. The value is and at a significance is this dependent is dependent this is the R value 20 only with the R square value but with the discussed. So confidence but the skill to satisfaction is not means ki maybe not to so confidence is contributing is not satisfaction. So that is this the outer loading is also. So these are the outer loadings are format. It's for uh, this, sorry. This see that key is significant one is so if you this is for where you confidence direct position with yes this is this alternate, but if we say ki skill positive satisfaction, so that is excellent. So this is one. So I'll moderate. So maybe some like if I say ki skill is satisfaction, if I really effect and your satisfaction, where GOs some skills and into a confidence, and confidence has increased. Let's see this relation. Confidence will work so do ki we this is they have acquired some skills with the NGOs and they got and they learned so many has led to increase in confidence and that consciously satisfaction.
Madam, you are on mute.
Yeah. So saying ki now making not bootstrap there, nothing here. So what I'll do, I'll then okay. So here you can see the path is significant. Okay. So what we from here that this confidence is actually a mediator skill and satisfaction model where we got as to dependent satisfaction as now what is a uh, particular see if so these both the values of t value below 1 and 1.96 होती है उससे significant always this in between skill and satisfaction. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Do you have any doubt like objective model? So if it's and you want to check, you want to do this what is the procedure. This is the basic structural and measurement. If you
Ma'am, I have a theoretical question. A modeling a
so structural was that we this structured or not. Okay, whether the items that I've whether these I scale valid or okay, the question reliable scale to repeat times. Yes, these items in confidence only. Establish this thing. So once you establish this key, measuring satisfaction from skill. All the items here are different from these items. These items are different from these items. So we'll say that key, this is a measurement model where we have established this. Once we establish this, then we go to structural model. Ki acha path up significant hai ki nahi. Then we see. Okay. So next,
okay.
we know that in not although this this default mode is on our adding formats in fact, so you need to change key with social these are computing skills and attending who are aware of key in the question the thing so people are recognizing you. This means society where is key disease, violence, you are civils and you resist. These are all actually participant, but at the same time they're related to. We cannot say that key there will be high correlation items. So what again the social one, I'll keep it as formative, not a see your items in active, then you can do it from here. Okay, what I did, I right clicked Here also you can click format like if I but the formative model size it to the confidence thing is PLS okay to this VIF value and about rule validity measure of the but full so this VIF value is 5 otherwise get the indicator is higher order for social values are below kept so value 5 there is no need to eliminate indicate and we can keep this before need to see the validity by examining it of the construct using relative the correlation between the construct should be 0.70 or analysis. So it to social factors are there. Social factors you can also see. Okay. So this what I'll do a redundancy analysis. तो redundancy analysis क्या होता है कि basically जो आपका this formative construct है formative construct को हम construct के साथ देखते हैं या फिर हम जो एंगल ग्लोबल तो बिकॉज दैट of designing your that not put a single item question in my questionnaire, so I'll check redundancy. Other reflective construct confidence से check करके एक बार देख लेती हूँ कि है कि आप जब क्वेश्चनर डिजाइन कर रहे हो तो आई को डालना चाहिए जिससे फिर जैसे सोशल अलग से डाल दूं कि सोशली अवेयर यू get the answer redundancy not there. So what I'll do, I convert alternative nature of the ridges or global single item. Because I do not have a global single item, so what I'll do, I'll check it with better to do with constructs. So, other constructs. Path analysis. Okay, is this clear? जो किया redundancy yes. Okay, so what I'll do, I need to check, do a redundancy analysis. So, factors. I'll which is confident. Again, you can align. So the students so again I go वो था वो जो formative is I am doing a first redundant check. करेंगे हाथ को हम डाल the value rule of thumb says matter examining its reflective measures or global single items, the correlation is zero. So value is sorry is this now we'll go back to this model. For conversion, we have also this variety of indicators where we have seen that VIF value was not more than, and we have done redundant. We have also this as we checked. And because we have done path, we have done this. So the measurement that I will do is now I'll run a path. Structural model अब हम देखेंगे. What I'll do, bootstrapping. Okay, here I'll increase the size of my samples. Okay, basic bootstrapping में इसको रखेंगे हम लोग, and percentile पे रखेंगे इसको. Okay. changes. In your then next is path picker. Okay. Then we will so in that mode. Okay. Two things. So two things I'll outer in. So social network देखेंगे हम. पहले हम outer weights देख. Is the social awareness and these all values significant. Rule of thumb says, it says examine each indicator and out. Indicator outer weight जो था 2 के लिए तो सिग्निफिकेंट है, 2 के लिए नहीं है. ठीक है, तो 2 के लिए अगर सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं है, देन व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल लुक फॉर आउटर लोडिंग्स. एंड आउटर लोडिंग में तो बेटर है. ठीक है, लोडिंग में 0.5 से अबव है सारी आउटर लोडिंग्स जो है हमारी. So what I'll do, I'll keep an indicator where it is evidence to support the indicator. You should keep an indicator where it is significant. The indicator should generally be 2 cases significant, but my is up all. Means कि I should करना है is low, then you should have indicator from the model. See it था प्रॉब्लम कर रहा था. Here's two cases are when we can see कि so there and high in all the cases. The can have a form also.
Yes.
So this is how we can construct it. So we did reflective and okay was acting as a use point which means he and then confidence satisfaction. Okay, contributing to playing in building factors are building confidence among rural women in Lucknow, and this as a mediator and satisfaction and social. Okay, so this is how we do reflect analysis. Next, so this of the papers you'll key are reported. Where if format told you, I have shown you also if format, then we do our dependency analysis, we look for collinears where we are seeing whether it is not, then we look for outer weights or not, and then we look and 0.5, then we sorry that formative model. Reflective model, we check for internal reliability for convex alpha and indicators reliability where convergent validity may be and discriminant validity may be look for criterion, cross loadings and HTMT. Most of the paper you will things are given on that basis. They say model is your model your contributing like a contributing to apart in your model. The I'll plus that will be the resource one. The next report will discuss the model. So, non-linearity or what is endogeneity? First, we'll see what is non-linearity. In a model, or here it is assumed there is a linear relationship. Okay, linear relationship is with the change in one will change in and there will be this is a linear one. So, okay, so it's also SEM, but at a straight line. So line is not straight. Change in one constant, change in another constant. There may be increase or decrease. Okay, that the change may increase at some point of time, but later on it may decrease. जैसे कि हम speed का करते हैं, distance travel by time taken, बहुत simple example होता है कि distance travel by time taken हम लेते हैं, तो distance अगर speed is constant, then you will get the linear relationship between distance and time. Speed will vary, relationship will not be linear. So it down. So similar in our model also in PLSM, the relationship is linear, but the relationship might not be linear. So when the relationship between two constructs is non-linear, the size of the effect between two constructs not only depends on the magnitude of the construct or magnitude of the change in exogenous construct, but also on its value. तो जो हमारा exogenous construct होता है, जो हमारा अगर linear relationship नहीं होगा, तो जो हमारा exogenous construct होगा उसकी सिर्फ वैल्यू में ही चेंज नहीं होगा, बल्कि उसके मैग्नीट्यूड में भी चेंज हो सकता है. तो जैसे हमारे इस मॉडल में हमारा एक्सोजेनस कंस्ट्रक्ट एंडोजेनस पे डिस्कस हुआ होगा, व्हाट आर एंडोजेनस कंस्ट्रक्ट्स एंड व्हाट आर exogenous constructs. So basically exogenous construct, sometimes we interchangeably use exogenous construct with your dependent variable and endogenous construct. This endogenous is your dependent variable and exogenous is your independent variable. But basic definition of endogenous and exogenous is endogenous, the value of endogenous is dependent upon the exogenous construct, but the value of exogenous is not on the other exogenous construct, maybe some external factor. So that is this construct. So here we have satisfaction as an endogenous construct. Okay, factor skills for satisfaction, confidence is also endogenous. For confidence, social factors and skills are exogenous factors. So here we, if in order to check whether the relationship is linear or not, because that is also important. So when you are writing a paper, and for example, आपने इतना achieve कर लिया, and you are saying कि okay, my model is perfect. I have achieved reliability. I have achieved convergent validity, discriminant validity, and then उसके बाद मैंने check कर लिया, path भी check कर लिया, फिर मैंने t values and significance level भी देख लिया. Okay, and now this model, I framed this model. Okay, and this is a perfect model. Okay, so उसके सिवा भी आप check कर सकते हो कि whether the relationship is linear or not. Okay, so to check for linearity, what we can do in Smart PLS, what we can do. So here select satisfaction. You need to add a quadratic effect to check for linearity, because it will tell you whether your model is a robust model or not. So you should check for linearity, you should check for endogeneity and heterogeneity also. So first thing is we are checking for linearity. Okay, is this clear? Linearity क्या होता है? Linear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
तो अब linearity अगर check करना है, so how you will do it? You will click here on satisfaction, right click, add quadratic effect. Okay, quadratic effects are non-linear effect. तो हम देखना चाह रहे हैं कि non-linear effect है इसमें कि नहीं है. Okay, so here I'll add an independent variable, and for satisfaction there is just one independent variable, which is confidence. So you can here calculation method तीनों में से कोई भी चूज कर सकते हो. मोस्टली यूज जो होता है वो टू स्टेज है. टू स्टेज में हम क्या करते हैं, बेसिकली फर्स्ट इज अगेन पहले हम अपना मेजरमेंट मॉडल स्टैब्लिश करते हैं, फिर उससे निकालते हैं कॉन्स्ट्रक्ट, एंड देन विल मेजर की वेदर लेटेंट linearity issue is there or not. While in case of orthogonalization, अगर हम orthogonalization करेंगे तो हम बेसिकली ये करते हैं कि हमारा जो भी जितने और इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल है उनका कुछ इफेक्ट जो है मिनिमाइज हम कर सकते हैं. तो देन इन दैट केस वी यूज ऑर्थोगोनलाइजेशन. सो बेसिकली ऑर्थोगोनलाइजेशन में हम एक एक करके करते हैं, जबकि टू स्टेज में हम सारे उसको कर लेंगे. तो वी आर चूजिंग हियर टू स्टेज. ओके, टू स्टेज कर लो, और इसमें स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड है, ऑटोमेटिक है, दिस इज ऑल ओके, एंड देन क्लिक ओके. तो ये हमारा एक क्वाड्रेटिक इफेक्ट 1 ये आ गया. इसको रीनेम कर लो. हियर वी कैन ऐड दिस एज अ कॉन्फिडेंस. Okay, so this is confidence. So we have added a quadratic effect here. Now for confidence also, I'll add a quadratic effect कि ये relationship भी linear है कि नहीं है. Again, I'll add a quadratic effect for confidence. This is skill, so I'll choose a skill, and then okay. We'll rename this quadratic effect skill. And then we will also add for social factors. Add quadratic effect, and then independent variable में we'll have social factor, and okay. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we added 3. Now how to check for non-linearity? So what I will do, again I will go to calculate bootstrapping. यहाँ पे will have 10,000. Okay, basic bootstrapping is okay, and then percentile bootstrapping. Okay. And then we'll start calculation. So this is what it is doing. It is actually calculating for a whether there is a non-linear effect or not. So quadratic means if the value is significant, तो इसका मतलब क्या होगा कि quadratic effect is not there. Okay, so what I want कि quadratic effect होगा अगर value significant होगी. So I don't want कि significant value should be there. I want non-significant values. तो quadratic effect का ही मतलब हुआ कि relationship is not linear. लेकिन हमें चाहिए linear relationship. Okay, so here we can see the values. ठीक है, तो quadratic. This is confidence. This is quadratic effect with confidence. This is satisfaction के साथ है, and this is with skill के साथ है. So all the values are non-significant. Okay, so we want insignificant values only here because quadratic effect अगर significant हो गया तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि relationship is non-linear. लेकिन क्योंकि हमें linear relationship चाहिए तो हम चाहते हैं कि ये quadratic effect जो हो ये significant नहीं हो. ठीक है, तो because here we are saying कि all the 3 quadratic effects are non-significant, so which means the relationship is linear. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, तो क्योंकि here you can see the values. Value is 0.783, 0.536 and 0.947. All are below 1.96. So quadratic effect is not there, which means there is a linear relationship between the satisfaction and confidence, confidence in skill, and confidence and social factor. Okay. Apart from that, we should also run for F square. Okay. Or to know इसमें non-linear में whether a relationship is linear or not. इसके लिए एक चीज और हम रन करते हैं, which is F square. PLS algorithm में रन करेंगे हम लोग इसे. We look for F square value. Okay, and what is the value here? तो अगर हम यहाँ पे देखेंगे तो F square जो value है it should be बहुत अगर quadratic effect is very small, so it will be less than 0.005. It is medium for 0.010 and large effect है तो 0.025, but it is not significant and the effect is also very small. You can see here it is less than 0.005. This is also less than 0.005, and this is although more than 0.005 but less than 0.05. So it is insignificant. The values are insignificant, plus the effect is also very low. So the effect is actually dependent on the value only. So here you will see, here you will see द वैल्यू स्किल वाली जो वैल्यू है ये माइनस में है, तो यहाँ पे इफेक्ट सबसे कम होगा। उसके बाद कॉन्फिडेंस में जो इससे थोड़ी ज़्यादा वैल्यू है तो इसमें इफेक्ट थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा है, एंड देन इसमें 0.094 है, क्वाड्रेटिक इफेक्ट इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा है। तो बेसिकली this will tell you ki whether the relationship is linear or not. Okay. Then next thing is this clear? Linearity. Any
Yes,
question?
ma'am.
किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन है? Is there any question?
I don't think, ma'am. Please continue.
Okay. Okay. So the next thing is endogeneity. Endogeneity. What is endogeneity? So basically, endogeneity is when your independent variable is correlated with the error term of your dependent variable. Okay, so like here in my model, this is my dependent variable, and if I say if I'm saying okay, this dependent variable is explained by this confidence as independent variable, but maybe like it is not able to explain completely. There is some, it is related to some error term. Okay, so maybe satisfaction is not at all like completely dependent on confidence, but there are other things also on which satisfaction is dependent. So that is called as the endogeneity. Okay, the problem of endogeneity, where endogenous variable का जो path बना है, this is not able to explain the thing completely. Okay, so these are my exogenous variables. Similarly for confidence also, कि confidence may be if they are social factor and skill, these are two exogenous variables. So whether they are able to explain the confidence completely or it is related to some other error terms also. So that is your problem of endogeneity. So when your independent variable is correlated with error term of your dependent variable, then the problem of endogeneity is there. Often needs to be addressed when trying to establish causality. Does A really cause B or something else really cause A? Okay. कभी कभी क्या होता है कि म्यूचुअल भी होता है कि A is causing B and B is causing A. So तो हम endogenous and exogenous में then we find it very problematic which one is endogenous and which one is exogenous. Okay, so mutually they are affecting each other. So what causes endogeneity? Maybe some omitted variable. Is there an important variable is missing from your model? That is the true predictor of dependent variable. Okay, so basically जब आपके मॉडल में कोई एक ऐसा वेरिएबल मिस है जो कि एक्चुअल में जिसको डिफाइन करना था आपके डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल को, बट इट इज मिसिंग फ्रॉम योर मॉडल एंड यू आर मेजरिंग अ मॉडल बाय पुटिंग सम इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स जो कि उसको पूरा मेजर नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. तो इफ सम अदर variables are missing from your model, then it will also cause the problem of endogeneity. The omitted variable is correlated with both the independent and dependent variable. तो ये भी हो सकता है कि जो omitted variable है वो independent variable को भी affect कर रहा है and dependent variable को भी affect कर रहा है. Okay, so that is the problem of endogeneity. For example, if I am saying कि performance in games is dependent on attendance of practices. Okay, जो बच्चे जितना ज्यादा प्रैक्टिस करते हैं उनका उतना अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस होगा गेम्स में. Okay, so that is something that I assume कि performance in games will be more if the attendance in practices is more. So those who are not attending the practice, their performance will be very low. But why the people are not attending or not coming for practice? Maybe distance from the बॉल फील्ड. सो जो प्रैक्टिस सेशंस हो रहे हैं वो बहुत दूर में हो रहे हैं, इस वजह से आ नहीं पा रहे हैं लोग, तो इसीलिए उनका एंड यू आर व्हेन यू आर यू वांट टू नो कि व्हाई परफॉर्मेंस इन गेम्स इज लो, so you are saying कि because people are not coming for practices, but you are not looking at this thing कि the performance in games is low because this practice sessions are from a very far distance from the residence or the place of residence of the students. So that may be the missing variable from your model. So you need to add it, then only you can complete it. Otherwise, you will not be able to actually address this issue of performance in games. So that is the problem of endogeneity. So how to tackle with this problem of endogeneity? Okay, so if I am saying I am measuring a satisfaction, okay, and I am measuring a satisfaction with this confidence, and confidence ko again is affected by skill and social factors. ठीक है, तो अगर मैं कह रही हूँ कि कॉन्फिडेंस जो है वो सोशल फैक्टर और स्किल पर डिपेंडेंट है, ठीक है, एंड आई एम मेजरिंग कॉन्फिडेंस सेटिस्फैक्शन विद कॉन्फिडेंस. Okay, so अगर मुझे पता करना है कि whether there is a problem of endogeneity or not, और endogeneity की problem होगी तो क्या होगा? If there is a problem of endogeneity in this model, then what will happen? All the independent variables will not be able to explain. ना endogenous variable को explain नहीं कर पाएंगे जितने भी exogenous variables होंगे. So there are some missing variables from my model, और किसी और चीज पे भी डिपेंडेंट है सेटिस्फैक्शन जो कि मैंने कवर नहीं किया है. ओके ओके, आर स्क्वायर वैल्यू वुड बी लेस. यस, आर स्क्वायर वैल्यू जो होती है दैट एक्चुअली एक्सप्लेन्स की हाउ मच वेरिएंस इन योर डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल इज एक्सप्लेन्ड बाय इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल. Okay, so that value will be less, but at the same time, if my model is is not is facing a problem of endogeneity, then R square value to only will explain ki how much variance will be explained by independent variables, है ना. Dependent variable में जितना change हो रहा है वो कितना उसको independent variable explain कर पा रहे हैं. So that is what we'll get from R square value. But to check for endogeneity, although in smart PLS you cannot do it. Okay, so but if पहली चीज तो ये है कि endogeneity की problem हो ही नहीं, इसके लिए आपको क्या करना चाहिए कि if you are using the scale which is an established scale, है ना, जो कि बहुत बार replicate हुआ है, and it's a standardized scale, like you have so many scales available with you, है ना. तो उस केस में right selection of variables, yes, and how you will decide कि whether the variables that you have selected in your model are correct one or not. तो अगर आप अपना खुद का मॉडल बना रहे हैं तब तो आपको सारे टेस्ट करने पड़ेंगे. Linearity का भी चेक करना पड़ेगा, endogeneity का भी चेक करना पड़ेगा, and then you will say कि yes, there is no such problem is there. Okay, in my case. But in case if you are like using an established scale, the scale which is being replicated before by so many people, okay, so if you are using it, then you can say, and that is an established scale. जैसे कि बहुत से established scales हैं, happiness index है, या emotional intelligence index के scales हैं, या फिर हमारा Myers-Briggs indicator of personality है. Okay, so number of times these things are used, they are established, they are used to measure personality. The Myers-Briggs indicator of personality है कि extrovert introvert, तो एक established scale है, उसके जो है वो बहुत बार यूज हो चुका है, and like the results were always reliable. So people are relying on the results, and more like in as far as your Myers-Briggs indicator of personality, जो बहुत सी companies उसको use करती है before hiring people in their organization. So you can say that this is checked so many times, and अगर उसमें कोई चीज डिपेंडेंट की तरह यूज हो रहा है किसी पर्टिकुलर स्केल में, और किसी इंडिपेंडेंट बहुत बार यूज हुआ है, then there is no problem of endogeneity because it has already checked by so many researchers earlier. But if you are designing your own scale and you are designing your own items in your scale, then in that case you need to check for endogeneity. So as far as smart PLS is concerned, you cannot do it here. You need to like a Gaussian capilla करके है, उसके through you can do endogeneity check, but that you will do in R. Okay, so what you will do, you will copy your data from yes, Mohammed Nasser, you want to ask something? Okay, so what you can do in this case, if you want to check an endogeneity problem, what you can do is You will create a Gaussian capilla. Capilla क्या होता है कि कितने number of times you can how many capillas you can create. Like here social factor का skill set we can create one capilla, then social factors का confidence is second capilla, and confidence का skill set third capilla. Okay, similarly with satisfaction fourth capilla. So how many capillas you can create, and then you can run it here in smart PLS and then copy the data. This bootstrapping करने के बाद the latent variables that you will get, these latent variables, you can copy the latent variables and then you paste it in your R, which is another software, and then you can analyze whether the problem of endogeneity is there or not. Okay, so this is how you can check for endogeneity. And for linearity, we have already done how to check for linearity, whether relationship linear or not. So here linearity ka check you can do it here. So one thing that I have done was for linearity के लिए हमने ये इसके लिए कर इसके like ये 2 stage के साथ कर लिया था. But if it basically depends on like when we are doing a linearity check कि क्योंकि इसमें we have seen बहुत like 3 methods are there, so which method to use. So here we have used 2-stage method. If you want to use another method, like if you want to use organization method, तो यहाँ पे जैसे मैं इसको अगर delete करके ये वाला delete करके, and if I want to check for organization, so what I'll do, I will add a quadratic effect. Okay, satisfaction, a confidence के साथ orthogonalization. Orthogonalization में what I'll do it मतलब एक एक का अलग अलग करना पड़ेगा, because यहाँ पर हम ये कोशिश करते हैं कि जो और इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स हैं उनका इफेक्ट जो है इस पे नहीं हो. तो ऑर्थोगोनलाइजेशन का मेन पर्पस यही होता है. इफ योर ऑब्जेक्टिव इज कि टू मिनिमाइज द इफेक्ट ऑफ अदर इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स, देन वी चूज ऑर्थोगोनलाइजेशन. तो इसमें हमने इसको चूज किया. ओके, क्वाड्रेटिक इफेक्ट ऐड किया, देन वी विल रीनेम इट, इसको कॉन्फिडेंस इसका नाम कर दिया. एंड देन एक मिनट, वैल्यूज ही हमने अच्छा बूटस्ट्रैपिंग नहीं कर रखी है, इसमें तो पुराना वाला वैल्यूज डिलीट हो गया. फर्स्ट वी विल डू we are doing a bootstrapping in order to establish a relationship between the models first, and then we'll check for, so these all are significant. We have done this earlier also. These all are significant. And इसमें अगर आप चाहो तो what we have we wanted like कि social factors का confidence के साथ and confidence का satisfaction के साथ हमने देखा. The skill का confidence के साथ, confidence का satisfaction के साथ. आप चाहो तो इनका फिर focal effect भी अगर हमें check करना हो, we can do this also. We can also see this part की whether skill का satisfaction के साथ direct effect कैसा है और social factor का satisfaction के साथ direct effect कैसा है. Okay, via confidence we can check, and we can also check direct effect. So here again calculate bootstrapping. Okay, and start calculation. So you will see ki whether direct and indirect both effects are there or not. Total effect like mediation mein you should check for both direct and indirect effect. What we were doing was indirect effect, तो हम direct effect भी check कर सकते हैं. Okay, so this model like this was created. Here we can see कि जो confidence का satisfaction के साथ है या skill का satisfaction के साथ है, direct effect is not significant. Okay, so it is what we can say that कि complete mediation is there when direct effect is insignificant and indirect effect is significant. तो here we will say that कि यहाँ पे हमारा complete mediation हमने achieve किया है. Partial mediation होता तो both, तो partial mediation में क्या हो जाता कि direct effect is significant होता और indirect effect भी significant होता. Okay, so like here total indirect effect, indirect is insignificant, है ना. And total effect में देखो तो we can see here कि जो भी हमारा indirect effect है that is insignificant और जो direct effect है that is significant. So complete mediation is achieved here, which means that कि skill जो है वो confidence को ही increase कर रहा है और confidence satisfaction को increase कर रहा है. Similarly social factors जो है वो confidence बढ़ा रहे हैं और confidence जो है satisfaction बढ़ा रहा है. Direct relationship नहीं है, skill का satisfaction के साथ direct relationship नहीं है and social factors का भी satisfaction के साथ direct relationship is not achieved. Okay, so what I was doing was orthogonalization. एक last चीज मैं आपको बता दे रही हूँ, which is to check linearity. If we want to minimize the effect of other independent variables, so here satisfaction में we added confidence and orthogonalization. Okay, quadratic effect, rename confidence, and then we will calculate. Okay, again the same thing, bootstrapping. $5,000 bootstrap, and this is okay. Start calculation. It is calculating basically if we don't want other independent variables or we want to minimize the effect of other independent variables, then we use this orthogonalization. Otherwise we go for two stage. Two stage में हम एक साथ सबका कर लेते हैं, orthogonalization में हम एक एक करके करते हैं. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे if we want to see the effect of this one confidence जो है ये इसका जो है effect is again it is insignificant, which means quadratic effect is insignificant. So my linear relationship is there. Okay, the same thing is achieved here also. This model. So here we can see it is the value is less than 1.96, 1.295 value है, तो linear relationship is there क्योंकि quadratic effect जो है वो insignificant है. तो quadratic effect को insignificant होना चाहिए क्योंकि quadratic effect का मतलब हुआ कि relationship is not linear. So if we want to establish it, we can like we want insignificant values. So here the relationship is not significant because the value is not significant. Similarly for orthogonalization हमें एक एक करके सबका करना पड़ेगा और एक एक करके फिर सबका bootstrap run करना पड़ेगा जैसे कि हमने confidence का किया है. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. किसी को कोई क्वेश्चन है, कोई प्रॉब्लम है on the topic that I have discussed, you can ask.
Ma'am, just want to clarify one thing that by using PLS, we can basically, use both formative and reflective constructs. Right?
Yes. We can use both formative and reflective construct. Although default mode पे जब जाओगे तो reflective construct ही होंगे. So if you think that कि one of your construct is formative, then you need to change it first. ठीक है, जैसे हमने change किया था.
Yeah, whereas in AMOS, we can only use reflective constructs, right?
Default mode पे yes, there will be reflective construct. लेकिन अगर आपको लगता है कि आपका कोई formative है तो उसको पहले check कर लो, redundancy analysis करके and then with जो पूरा VIF का चेक करना ना कि whether multicollinearity is there or not, तो चेक करके and if you find कि yes आपने formative डालने के बाद भी your model is significant, then you can say that कि one of the construct was formative, another was reflective, and this is my model. Okay. Okay. और किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन है? So basically this मुझे लगता है किसी का क्वेश्चन नहीं, so I should I think end my session. So basically PLSM के बहुत like if you compare it with the this one covariance based SEM, PLSM जो और covariance based SEM में basically PLSM में बहुत ही आपके कम वो होते हैं, assumptions होते हैं, so it's easy to apply PLSM को आप you can easily apply. It's, even your sample size is small, then also you can apply PLSM. I think I forgot to show you this one thing कि sample size वाला, कि sample size कितना होना चाहिए PLSM में. I'll just जल्दी से एक slide दिखा देती हूँ कि sample size बहुत कम भी हो तब भी आप you can use PLSM. Okay, so this is suggested sample size in typical marketing research और research में आप कर सकते हो कि how many latent maximum of arrows pointing at a latent variable in a model. जैसे कि हमारे मॉडल में यहाँ पर अगर इसको कॉन्फिडेंस को अगर हम हटा दें तो हमारा 1 2 है, अदरवाइज हमारे 3 हैं. ओके, जो कि हम इसको दिस इज माय डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल, तो इनको 3 एरोज अगर हम कहें कि इसको वो करें तो वी हैव 3 एरोज पॉइंटिंग एट माय लेटेंट वेरिएबल. तो 3 में 59 अगर आपका मिनिमम सैंपल साइज हो तो चलेगा. ओके, बट वी शुड नॉट ऑलवेज कीप मिनिमम सैंपल साइज, वी शुड ट्राई टू अचीव बिगर सैंपल साइज, लेकिन कम सैंपल साइज में को भी PLSM जो है वो सपोर्ट करता है. ओके, सो इफ योर सैंपल साइज इज स्मॉल यू कैन यूज PLSM, or even normalcy, agar if it is not there, your data is not normal, then also you can use PLSM. So that is the advantage of using PLSM. Okay, I think that
Dr. Srivastava, could you please conclude the session? I think Dr. Srivastava is busy somewhere. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for such a wonderful session, and hopefully we all have learned a lot. And the video will be shared so that you can practice with the data which is being provided by the ma'am. So you will get more expertise on the same. If you have any query regarding this session, you can mail us, and ma'am will definitely answer. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for your help and your kind gesture to coming on on our request. It's lovely. We'll meet again at 2:30. Take a lunch break. Thanks a lot for all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jamshed, and thank you, Asad, Dr. Asad, Abdullah, and all the participants. Thank you so much.
Participants, you can fill the feedback. Please don't forget to fill the feedback.